It is staggering how many dealerships are putting these GPS trackers on your car, potentially tracking you for their business purposes and charging you an arm and a leg to do it. Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. Back with another video a day until this channel hits 100K. This is now video 58. I made a video a few weeks back talking about this Ikon Technologies GPS tracker and how I thought it was honestly pretty terrifying. Not only are they selling this to you at the point of sale when you buy your car as a forced add-on, they are selling it to you for a stupid markup for a price that honestly I don't think you're getting any of the value out of. My opinion is that this device is incredibly sinister because the intent of it is that the dealerships get this for free.
We wanted to provide a solution when they buy the Ikon theft recovery. Since they paid money for it, obviously, they're not going to just delete it. So how much that is worth to a dealer? We generate money for them by selling it. Our technology is collecting data on the consumer. Dealer doesn't even have to install. We're hiring third parties to the installation. We want dealers to make sure they benefit from this technology and they sell it and generate money.
Stolen vehicle recovery component, great. You know, if we can't find a car in 30 days, we have a $10,000 theft benefit for $2,000 direct to the dealer. $8,000 has to be spent at the dealership. Here we have an addendum product. It's on consignment. It doesn't cost you anything. And unlike everybody else, I'm giving you the lot management plus the key tracking, all at no cost. And I'll quote our owner, if it doesn't benefit our dealer directly, we're not interested in doing it.
They are allowed to utilize the software to track all of their dealer inventory. They don't pay a nickel for it as long as they can turn around and sell it to the customer who buys the car as a theft recovery device. Now, the reason why I started covering this is because I found it on my GMC Sierra and I thought it was absolutely terrible for a lot of reasons. Somebody actually dropped a comment this morning saying, is the company out of Arlington, Texas, Bouncie, question mark? I ask in all sincerity. I had never heard of Bouncie. Lo and behold, Amazon same-day delivery. I am going to link Bouncie in the description down below. It's just another option that you can check out if you're interested. But this brought up a much more compelling conversation for me. I think that this Ikon Technologies is a terrible device because the terms of service say that they can take and do whatever they want with your data. And like I said, it seems a little tongue-in-cheek to me that it's meant to be a theft recovery device. I think that this device is no different than the classic Trojan Horse where they roll it in and it looks like it's a gift to you, but in turn, it's actually loaded up with a whole bunch of spyware. And that's what I think this device is just a bunch of spyware. So I started looking at this Bouncie. I was like, I'd literally never heard of it before. Looking at their website, it seemed kind of compelling. This might be what the Ikon Technologies is pretending it wants to be, which is an OBD2 GPS tracker. We will scan this, download the Bouncie app. Again, I have no idea what I'm getting into here. I don't need anything like this, and I can argue you probably don't either if you have a newer vehicle. But I can say that maybe if you don't have any telematics installed on your car, like OnStar, Ford Pass, a whole bunch of them that exist, that maybe you might want something like this. Now, I've seen comments on my previous video, and I'll link that up here, you can check out that, about people saying, well, you've got GPS tracking on your vehicle anyways. You've got OnStar, you've got Ford Pass, so why is this any worse than that? And the argument is point blank, plain and simply, because the CEO of OnStar or Ford Pass or any of these companies isn't saying that they built this device specifically so they can get your information back into the hands of the dealers. This device was created by Ikon Technologies because the terms of service for all of those OEM solutions is too good.
They're basically stealing that data, the dealer data. So for me, that was a big no-no. I mean, you know, that customer should stay for the dealer.
They couldn't get the information. So everybody's saying, oh, I know these other auto manufacturer OEM solutions have been busted selling data. Sure, okay. The point is, this device had to be created because their terms of service were too good. So let's go ahead and open up Bouncie here. I like that it has Face ID, enter in my VIN, match found, nickname, truck, scan the back of the device. So now the device is activated, and then they want $10.45 a month, which is much better than paying for this device, which is about, I don't know, $600 to $1,000 is what they're charging. You get 64 months, theoretically, of Bouncie compared to the Ikon Technology price. All right, so we'll pay 10 bucks for a month and see what this thing's all about. I probably won't continue the service after this video because I just don't need it. I already have OnStar. But I'm interested to see what this is all about. Go and plug this in, and this is how easy. You'll see truck is already off. I'll unplug my accessories that I have on the OBD2 just for this purpose of this video. Plug in the Bouncie, it's in there. So while it's doing that, let's pull up the Henry Brown. This is where I bought my truck from, the dealership who's doing all of this bullshit. Let's see what their app has. I'm not going to log into this because their terms of service are obnoxious and you have to agree to them in order to actually accept the app, so I can't even do that. But we'll just look at the screenshots of what their app provides powered by Ikon Technologies. Stolen mode.
Stolen vehicle recovery component, great. You know, if we can't find a car in 30 days, we have a $10,000 theft benefit for $2,000 direct to the dealer. $8,000 has to be spent at the dealership.
And then you get a vehicle location. You can geotag, so you can say if your vehicle, I believe, enters or leaves a location. Speeding alerts, which again is just all GPS related, and that's all they show on the app. So with that, that's all you're getting out of that app. Looking at the terms of service, Ikon Technologies says that they share your vehicle's data with dealerships and third parties. It's very vague. It allows unilateral terms of service changes without any notice. So if they decide they want to change the terms, they change them. You already agreed to that, which is insane in and of itself. In my assessment, this whole product was written, and they actually have an entire terms of service for the dealer. The whole thing seems very heavily focused on being a dealership first product. Now Bouncie says flat out, they do not sell or distribute any of your personal data. They clearly explain all the data collection and anonymization practices around all of that data. And then they also tell all of the users, there's so much red print in the terms of service to draw your eyes to specific areas where they say they do not want you leaving this in your vehicle after you sell it. You are to remove it. You are to notify anybody who gets in your vehicle that it's being tracked. So if you're interested in a GPS tracker, do not have a tracker that benefits the dealership. Have a tracker that benefits you, the owner of the vehicle. I view this practice of the dealership putting this GPS device in your vehicle and charging you for it no different than walking into your local pizza shop and just having them blow dart you with a GPS unit as you walk out the door. Now this whole video series on this GPS tracker is meant to educate people. I am not anti-GPS units. As a matter of fact, I'm very pro all of this technology, but I am anti who controls it and how they decide that they just throw it into your life without you really understanding what it is you have in the first place. I think that this is the perfect example of pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. This is the hoggiest thing I've ever seen, and if you're going to make a choice and want a GPS tracker, I'm going to recommend Bouncie just based on reading all of their terms of service. It just seems like a better device, and I also think that it has more features and capability than what the Ikon Technologies has anyways. Also, I'm not sure how much of a fan I am of these OBD2 connected devices that have a SIM card in them in terms of like hacking into vehicles, because with all of these GPS trackers now, the Ikon that I had only had 2 of the pins enabled for a connection, which was a power and a ground. But they have a data ribbon cable here, which gives them the ability, I don't know if they have another pigtail here to plug into the OBD2 port, but that would give them direct access into the computer systems of the vehicle, and these do have SIM cards in them, so they have a constant cell phone connection. See, it looks like we're starting to get something up live here. Now I am going to blur out the map. I'm not interested in showing the company that I think is incredibly shady exactly where my house is. It doesn't seem like a great idea. But as we look at this Bouncie thing, let's see what this thing has. Right off the bat, this Bouncie thing, again, I'm a little concerned about having access to all this information, but it does have my fuel level. So it is pulling from the OBD2 port, which the Ikon is not pulling that data. Battery, of course, it's going to have the battery percentage. Diagnostic and trouble codes, which the Ikon did not have. This app right here, I can tell you right off the bat, so much better than Ikon Technologies in terms of what you're getting. Track maintenance, this is actually pretty sharp. National Weather Service alerts. This is like a legitimate application. Max speed, hard braking, rapid acceleration, driving habits. None of these things are in the Ikon Technologies. Turn the truck off. Let's see. Oh, look at that. It's also got help that works. When I went to the help section on the Ikon Technologies website, it is a dead link. If anybody knows more about Bouncie, feel free to drop a comment down below. I'd be interested to know what your guys' opinions are on this topic. But for anybody who's going to say, you've already got OnStar, what are you doing complaining about Ikon Technologies? Read some terms of service, because it's pretty horrifying, in my opinion, that this thing even exists. And the fact that the dealerships are doing it is just typical dealership shady bullshit. And I think it should be rejected by us, the consumers, all day long. But if you want to drop a comment down below making fun of me because it's easier than it is to read terms of service and make educated decisions, I can't change that either. So with that said, thank you guys very much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. I will see you guys next time.